December. If you recall in earlier episodes, which nobody watched, rabbits, wolves. If you recall in earlier episodes, I was a TJ, enjoying the fine air out there. Nobody was a TJ, man. Except that lady and her kids and dog. She looked cold and miserable. Am I cold and miserable? No, for some reason I'm cold and jolly. I don't know, it just seems like things are working out for a change. You know, I know it's unrealistic to ask for 1 year without drama. Because like it or not, you're connected to other people in life, and their drama becomes your drama. You know, nobody makes a drama shield. If they did, they'd be the richest man on earth. Drama shield. Can you imagine? How do you advertise something like that? Other people's drama's getting you down? We from Globex come up with a new revolutionary project, the Drama Shield. And it's this giant bubble that looks like a hamster wheel, and it just like warps space-time, and no one's drama can get to you from there. It's like you're in another universe where it's sunshine and clear 75 every day. Drama Shield! How much do you expect to pay for this amazing product? $79.99? $99.99? What if we told you could have it for the low, low price of 3 payments of $29.99? Drama Shield. That thing really work? It's like I don't know anything about what's going on in your life, Zeke. Huh. That's it. The Drama Shield. Anyway, feeling good. However long that lasts. So, feeling good. You know, they talk about military life as long periods of boredom punctuated by brief moments of sheer terror. And basically, just everyone else's life, civilian life, is really more of long moments of boredom punctuated by brief moments of sheer terror, or not terror, but dread. Excuse me, dread. Like things are going ho hum, and then I gotta go meet the in-laws. Dread. Things are going ho hum, and then time for spring cleaning. Time to clean the yard. Time to go to the kids. Some people enjoy going to their kids' things, but for most folks, it kind of reminds me of that scene in Addams Family, where they're going to the kids' play, and all the kids are singing, getting to know you, and the Addams look like they look like they're in a pot of boiling water getting ready to be eaten alive by cannibals. They just had that look on their face. They probably would have preferred that. And everyone on the outside is looking like all smiling and happy, but on the inside, you know they're looking just like the Adamses. Mad Magazine, and they always had the shadow nose. Although that was one of the best cartoons they ever had. Was people would always look one way on the outside, but on the inside the shadow was telling their true nature. The guy dies at a funeral, and the shadow's laughing his ass off in the end. Meanwhile, the guy in real life, he's just looking all somber, like, oh, he was such a decent human being. Gravity in the wind. Kind of annoys me because I took the sleeves off my shirt and I've been keeping them as like handkerchiefs from blowing my nose. So then I put it around my fist because it's really cool and convenient. Not cool, but it's really convenient. Kind of have it wrapped around anytime I need it, and just while I keep my hands in the running or walking position, just grab, put it up my nose and blow it instead of having to fumble with it. And unfortunately, I got this feeling that it makes me, the other people who do stuff like this are those gangbangers. Only they wear a kerchief around their hands and it's supposed to symbolize gang, whatever affiliation. And I got this worry that people see this and they think, oh my God, we've got gang members working out over here. Kind of hope they catch me in the act of, blowing the old nose there. By the way, my apologies to people in the Japanese community, but I'd rather have you hearing me blow my nose than have a runny nose out here. Your social faux pas are trumped by my need to blow my nose in public. I'm thinking only in Japan is that like really a big deal. Everywhere else it's just kind of like, yeah, no, you gotta blow your nose, you gotta blow your nose, man. In fact, I gotta do it too now. All of a sudden people are blowing their nose in concert. So it kind of sounds like the Philharmonic Sinus Symphony Orchestra. Beethoven, as performed by the noses of. I gotta stop doing that. I think they're waving at me, but they're not. People see the camera and they're waving at the camera. But you don't want to be completely rude and not wave back. People are like, hey, I waved at that guy and he never waves back. And I was like, I had to explain to them, well, I'm thinking you're waving at the camera. Oh yeah, I gotta stop doing these crazy rants because I just told the people in the city of Dallas about these videos, and for all I know they could be watching them saying, oh my God, this man needs to be committed. Actually, they're probably not saying that at all because they don't have any funding for mental care facilities. What they're probably saying is, we got to get this guy a Greyhound bus ticket and send him to another city. No need, ladies and gentlemen, I'm harmless. Crazy, but harmless. The worst that'll happen is you'll catch me talking to myself every once in a while. Then you'll start doing it. Why is that guy talking to himself? Who's he talking to? And then before you know, you've been infected. You're sitting there talking to yourself, talking about me, talking to myself. Vicious circle? Why does it always have to be vicious? It's a circle. Damn it, I'm starting to do the Seinfeld thing. Limestone. See, I was wondering what happened to those. When I was a kid, they had these huge limestone boulders all around the trail. And it's just cool because it added that ambience to the whole place. And it was covered in moss. And when I was a kid, I used to climb on them and everything. And then you get city planners, they come in and they just say, well, we got to get rid of those boulders. So they're not here anymore. It's a curious thing, though. I think that sometimes when you think that people are like animals are like people, or people are animals, but the behaviors that all animals exhibit. Animals act differently when they see the camera versus when they don't. Something about that blinking red light just brings out the curiosity in every creature. Birds will start hamming it up in front of the camera. Dogs are always looking at you. Cats, well, cats are cats. They look at you like you're crazy all the time. Cats look at everybody like they're the only sane, rational beings on the planet. Why are you? What's wrong with you? Why are you out here? Go home. It's like you're human, man. You don't have to be out here in this. And it's like, cat, I'm out here because I want to be. Weirdo. You know, you just got the feeling that the cats ran the world. They'd be riding segways everywhere if they had to go somewhere. For the most part, they'd be staying indoors watching TV. What about your jobs? Cats don't. Cats don't work. That's probably why science shouldn't, like, try to create animal-human hybrids. Everybody's scared that the nickel-mimi will go around and they're slaughtering people, real life nickel-mimis. In reality, all they'd probably do is sleep all day and watch TV and stay on unemployment. Dang it, Destiny, weren't you supposed to be at work? Yeah. Did you bring me that catnip? I'm like, damn it, Destiny. Catnip costs money, which you need to go make. Weird thing about this rubber that they put on these tracks, it just, if it doesn't hold, it doesn't hold. But yeah, as you've all seen in my walking videos, I pretty much just walk on multiple surfaces. I think one of the weirdest things I'd probably ever walk on, but I've never seen it, is it would be kind of cool if I could find a place that had like a jogging track or a walking trail, and the entire thing was like AstroTurf or outdoor carpet, just to see how that would feel. All this stuff over here that they put up, probably about 10 years old now. I don't remember when they threw up the X building now. When I was here in the 80s, none of this was all here. This was all, like, it was a really messed up parking lot. It used to be for service vehicles and the staff. Jogging trail, this new part of it, this is definitely new. I don't know if I have any video of the old Brookhaven. I don't think that I do. I think when I started this thing, I was avoiding Brookhaven. Gun it, man! Straight into a pole. Thank God they put the poles here. That's what I have realized, is that this whole place is powered by underground cables. Very nice because, you know, urban landscaping. You always see the above ground telephone wires and power poles and everything, and here's just lights. Everything's in the earth. Who knows, someday in urban planning, we won't be seeing buildings rising up into the skies, but going deep into the earth. 12-story building completely underground. An engineering challenge is marvel. Like, if people go up and all they see is a vacant lot, you hit a button and all of a sudden down into the ground. It's always the same temperature. You'll probably lap me a couple times before this is all said and done. Me, I'm just getting warmed up. It takes me about 15 minutes. Unless there's a wind, then it takes an hour. I'm dressed for the windy 40 degrees, and so far this is pretty calm. little harder with gloves though. Invest some money in some cones. Do like that moron in Oregon did. Drop the football or even get to the dadgum goal line. I guess they could stop them from doing that if they made American football like rugby, where you can't just break the plane to score a touchdown. You actually have to break the plane and get the ball, touch the ball down behind the line. I just imagine how much harder football is going to get after that. I always thought that was kind of a cool aspect of rugby. Is that it's like getting into the end zone is just the beginning. You still got to get the ball down on the ground. I think scores of games will plummet, but it should be a lot more interesting. Of course, then another complication would come by. You'd have guys putting the ball down on the ground and they just have their hand on it. And then the NFL would have some kind of ticky-tack rule about what constitutes having possession as you put the ball down on the ground. You'd have a lot of people saying it was a fumble. You know, they get away with it in rugby because there's offsides in rugby. And so taking possession of the football or the ball is not always simple. Still, every once in a while I do like watching rugby. My favorite team is the All Blacks. They have guys on those teams who are like 6 foot, 6'5", 240 something pounds, and can just flat out run. grass. Grass is the hardest surface to do sprints on. Not the hardest, but the most difficult. Like doing it in the parking lot. The problem is that hard ground, you're running as fast as you can, so you're stepping down as hard as you can. Murder. And then the easy, of course, is the rubberized tracks. You do rubberized tracks and you're thinking, ah, I'm a stud. And you get on grass and you're like, what happened? That's why everybody does combines in a nice controlled environment. Like Indianapolis' dome with the turf. You want to see what you guys really made out of. Do the combine on Soldier Field. Now somebody does a 4.440 in that environment during the combine. that would increase your draft stock. Damn, dude ran a 4.2 on mud, grass, and snow. Hard to find the marker now. It used to be, it was right next to this box that had the you can call the cops on. They got rid of all those. I guess the Farmers Branch Police Department said, well, you get raped out here, it's your own fault. Raped, assaulted, whatever. You are on your own. Yep, used to be right there. There are no lights out here. There are no call boxes out here. Welcome to the ownership society. catch the ROTC guys around here every once in a while, but I don't know what happened to them. They do their whole soldier thing out here and get prepared for, I guess, PT and maybe they just found a better location. The reason I think they got rid of the call boxes is maybe they figured people had cell phones on them. Like I said, it's an assumption made by a certain financial class of people. Everybody has cell phones. Yeah, does everybody carry them with them when they're running? Like I got a giant phablet, and yeah, I think they sell kits that where I can mount it on my arm. But something about that, so having that thing on your arm just kind of makes you look, I hate to use the term, but douchey. Like you're just lording it over other people that you've got this expensive multi-tool, and you just like put it up on your shoulder. I'm looking for something a little bit more subtle, hidden. I can always get confused between conspicuous and inconspicuous, but the bottom line is that term. I suppose if I could afford a Google Watch, yeah, I just put that on and okay, Google, call police. Next thing you know, it's got Sting on there. Son of a bitch, I wonder if you should actually call the emergency service. Here is the album by Sting and the Police. You're like, dang it. Yeah, okay, Google can get you killed. You know, you go, okay, Google, phone home, and next thing you know, it pulls up 50 things for ET. They haven't got Android phones down, or at least maybe I'm not doing it right, but they made it sound like all you had to do was say something to the phone and the phone would start doing a function. So if I tell it to call 911, would it actually do it, or search for the term, call 911. But yeah, once there were call boxes, now there's nothing but concrete slabs. In case of emergency, call this 10-digit number. That's what I'm talking about. Like, they took the whole thing out and they said, in case of emergency, call this 10-digit number and while you're in a panic. Hey, and if you got your cell phone with you, scan this barcode. Damn, I am just spitting and snorting and blowing. And something just keeps tickling my nose, and I think it's pollen or not pollen, what do you call that stuff? Mildew. I think I did get Brookhaven on camera at least once, because I think I had said in one of my things, this is the last time I'll see Brookhaven for 6 months, and then I came back here and, you know, this happened. I haven't been at White Rock since I started training for the marathon, and I went off, and of course maybe you guys remember that if you saw it. I went off on a construction site by accident and wound up watching, they were constructing a new trail. Now, since it's the city of Dallas and they move pretty slowly, I doubt that they finished that trail. But I guess I'll see on Monday. Said it once and I'll say it again, man. Some of the prettiest women that I've ever seen in my life came from Africa. Especially like Ethiopia. I guess there's a big community up here in Farmers Branch and Carrollton. I know there was one over in where I went to Richland College. Is it biased as an African American for me to say that? It might seem that way, but I don't really discriminate. So I came from a generation that pretty much you were raised around everybody. The only people that I don't really know a whole lot about is these Jewish people. And that's because traditionally, as far as I've understood it, Jews and African Americans are on two totally different ends of the cultural spectrum. You would think that there are three communities that would get along just fine. And that'd be Jews, Irish, and Black, because they came from pretty much the same cultural and social oppression background. You know, there was a time in America where the only difference between a black person and an Irish person was skin tone. It's just sad to see that a lot of racism that happens in this country, large chunks of it, have nothing to do with skin color or culture, and it just comes down to money. I remember reading on the internet, and I don't know how true this is, but they were saying that basically there really were no the idea of the white race was a construct. It was developed by companies to divide the workforce. You know, they were going to pay, they basically, the immigrants and African Americans were going to be forming unions together. And that was going to be a problem, because if they were united, it'd be tough to deal with, to bargain with. And so what they did was started saying, you Europeans, you're kind of like us, so we'll go ahead and start paying you just a little bit more. You're not going to be like them. They're second-class people. Like, you know, it's divide and conquer. The Irish are no longer Irish, they were white. The Germans were no longer Germans, they were white. The Italians were no longer Italians, they were white. And so suddenly, instead of fighting their financial oppressors, they were fighting each other. It became you blacks and you whites instead of you Italians and you blah 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 blah. America's kind of like that, though. America's like this really screwed up, dysfunctional family / fraternity that when you make it through the hazing ritual without dying, welcome to the club. What's the hazing ritual? You speak another language, you better learn to speak English. We're going to pound on you until you do. We don't like the way your last name's spelled. You're going to change that too. We're going to give you a nickname, and that nickname will now become your family name. You don't worship a Christian God? Oh, we're going to take points off for that. They don't even tolerate that. It's like you don't worship a Christian God, there's going to be a bus waiting for you somewhere. We don't care if there's a seat on it for you or not. We're going to find a way to stuff you in it or on it. And if you survive, you're an American. And each immigrant group they've gone through the iterations of American hazing. They said, you know, we don't want it to be like this for the next group that comes in. So you would think by the time the Hispanic community, this large Hispanic immigration thing comes through, we kind of learned our lessons. Like, you know, you remember what your grandfather told you? It's like your last name was Schockenfeld, and somehow it got changed to Shook, because the guy at Ellis Island was just tired of hearing German all day. Yeah, we decided we weren't going to do that anymore. What's going on here? You know, you hear commentators with names like Limbaugh and Hannity. And you're like, wait a minute, you guys were immigrants at one, you know, your ancestors were immigrants at one point. Hannity was probably told, there was probably a Hannity sometime in the past that was told immigrants need not apply, or Irish need not apply. There was a Limbaugh, who was probably rounded up and put in some kind of camp suspected of being a German spy in one of the wars. Is Limbaugh a German name? I don't even know. Just seems like it to me. But I keep thinking about stuff that I think they were saying, that I saw on the Daily Show, Benjamin Franklin was saying about the Cornish. Of course, Benjamin Franklin tended not to like anybody, I guess, who wasn't formerly Western educated. I don't think that Ben Franklin was a racist. I just think that he was there's a certain point where you get where all you see is people's education level. And there's a certain education level that you don't trust. And so you start grouping the people with that education level. It's the kind of stuff that David Brooks does, where, like people say, if you didn't grow up the way David Brooks grew up, it's not really that he's a racist, it's that he's more of like, I guess what you would call a communityist. If you didn't grow up in his community, he stares at you through a hard lens of prejudice. Do I identify with that? Yeah, I kind of understand, because I understand what community these guys come from. You know, I had been invited into those homes, and the Boy Scouts and mom and hot apple pie and not putting your elbows on the table and people sitting together and eating a meal and the television was turned off. It was kind of cool to be invited to be a part of that. Sleeping over at people's houses and just, you know, observing their rules and manner. You know, now that I think about it, I've been in just about every kind of household you can imagine. I've been in the dysfunctional ones where guys were arguing with their mother and dang near causing physical altercations, and me damn near wanting to kill the guy. I've been in trailer parks where there was an argument over ice. Not the drug, I mean the actual, you know, cubed water, solid water ice. Somebody didn't fill up an ice tray, and all of a sudden the dad went ape shit. Just ah! And on that note, I've been in houses where a couple was fighting over heroin. But at the same time, I've also been to nice houses, like I said, where there's formal dinnerware and people had utensils.